Yay!
There we go. Yay.
Yes, Joe. Hey, Joe.
One of my struggles is I forget the little things. I remember big important things, but the little things just, sometimes I just am moving on to step 10 before I finish step like 3 and 4 sometimes. So that's the way my brain works. It's always like thinking too.
I know.
So.
Yeah.
So, but we are recording now. So awesome. So excited we could get you guys on here. Sorry about the link. I have no idea what happened with that. That was just really weird, but we're good to go now. So first of all, our team is still rocking it and we are still in first place.
Yay!
The last time I looked at it, there was one team that had more points, or one team that was really close and another team that had more points, but they don't have full teams. One has like 9 people and one only has 2 people. So we should still be winning. So that is awesome. So great job to everybody. Everybody who's on here has been really doing awesome. I love that all of you are really seeing the benefit of what we can really get from this. That is huge, because that's why I was talking to Anne today and I said nothing makes me happier than when I'm like when people just get it and they can see, hey, that we're learning things, and this is how, like, this is really what it's all about, is educating people so that we are all healthier and making those positive changes in our life. So great job to all of you. You just make me so happy. So just had to share that. So what I wanted to talk about on our Zoom today was this week, we've kind of been talking in like our webinars and like our weekly call and stuff, we've been talking about yo-yo dieting. And I wanted to share with you guys an experience, and I want you guys to think about, you guys, if you have anything that you want to share, or experiences, aha moments, about things that you've learned about those times when you, whatever you want to call it, if you cheat, go off plan, have a backtrack, or whatever it is that you want to call it. So I'm going to share, here's my story, but you guys can think about what you want to share along those lines here. So on Monday, I literally sugar ruined my entire day. So I try to plan out my day where I can say, okay, here's my list of things that I want to accomplish. I wanted to get up at a certain time. I wanted to, do things, being able to contact my clients. I wanted to clean things in my house. I wanted to get things ready, with my family, different things. And I had this whole list of things that I wanted to do. Well, one of my things that I started out doing in the middle of the day was making treats for our family get-together that night. I neglected to do what I know that I should do, which is put a piece of gum in my mouth so that I don't pick at things as I go, and then to not let myself even taste anything until I get to the very end, so that I can't let myself eat more than just a little bit. So I neglected to do that. So as I went along, I was picking at, just those little things, and I was like, and so first of all, I got frustrated with myself because I know better than to do that. Second of all, I'm not used to eating sugar like that, so immediately my blood sugar was raised. I just felt like crap. I seriously felt so terrible and just wiped out. I had to lay down on my couch and take a nap for like 20 minutes. And I was just completely wiped out. So then not only did I make myself feel like crap and I was off my plan for what I wanted to eat and I was feeling terrible, but then instead of getting all of these things done in my time period where my 2-year-old is asleep, which is my time when I have to work like a mad woman to crunch in as many things as I can, I was sleeping on my couch. And so then I didn't have time to do several of the things on my to-do list that I wanted to do, and I had a headache because I was like, I had slept and then from the sugar, and I just seriously felt terrible the whole rest of the day, and I didn't accomplish anything. So then I was even more angry at myself. So that is how sugar literally ruined my entire day. And it just made me grumpy, and I was mad. And so I just sat after that at night and I was thinking about that, and I went, oh my gosh, it was just one little thing. And it just had this ripple effect through my whole entire day where it just literally ruined everything. And so that's my, one thing that I stopped and I wrote down that night. I wrote down exactly how it made me feel. And I really played it over in my head so that I can remember for the next time to be like, hey, even if I feel like I want to pick at this cookie dough, or I feel like I want to, eat whatever, has come up at that time, I just remind myself, you're going to be so mad at yourself. You're going to feel like crap, and you have way too much to do to spend time taking a nap because you feel terrible from eating sugar. So, those are the kind of things that we're all human. We all have those days when, we slip up, we mess up, we cheat, go off plan, whatever you want to call it. But the important thing to me is what you learn from it. So just like I learned from mine, hey, one little bit, like, letting myself go like that, and then just toppled over my whole entire day, now I can have a more powerful image in my mind to use to help me stay on track the next time. So I'm going to turn it to you guys. Have you had any aha moments or anything that was a struggle for you or that worked really well for you in trying to get out of that yo-yo mentality where you're like going back and forth of, eating well and not eating well versus, staying on that, on the track of choosing health every day? Anybody brave enough to share?
I'll share.
Okay, Nevin. Go.
I've done a pretty good job of, like, when I'm coming into, like, those meal times 6 times a day, like coming into it and saying, okay, so here's what my allotment is, being mindful of that, like coming into it. But the other day, home from work, I had a stressful day, and you know how that goes, right? The whole cycle that comes with it. So I started off my evening meal with something not so healthy, and then that triggered a whole line of other things, right? So you shouldn't start your meal with an almond joy. That's not a great idea. So I started off that way, but the kicker, that wasn't so bad because, it was just a little small one, but the kicker was they've had a couple of those lessons, right, that say don't eat straight out of the bag. And we had nuts just on the counter, and my boys were snacking on them, and of course I'm snacking on them, and we're talking, and I'm catching up on things with them. We're doing homework, all the great stuff. But we get done, and I'm ready to go upstairs, and I realize there is this huge pile of shells in front of me from where I just been cracking nuts and eating, and then just realizing, wow, like how critical that mindfulness is, because and I was like over full. Like it wasn't even like I was eating because I was hungry. It was like one of those feelings like after Thanksgiving meal where you're like, oh, like just over full, and so anyway, so that was a good lesson for me to even around things like that, like to be mindful. The other one was, and I did better this time, but today we had a board meeting at work that was planning out budgets for all of next year. You can imagine how lively that is, right? And my had this huge bowl of candy in the middle of the table, which of course is the perfect combination, right? But I did really good that time. I decided, okay, so I'm going to give myself 3 little pieces of candy for all day, and I can choose when I want to eat those, but I'm going to only eat 3. And I was able to stick to that one and did well with that one versus just kind of going in, munching, thinking, oh, it's just, small pieces of candy. And then before you know it, you've eaten 20 of them or something. So.
Awesome. All of those things that I think everybody can relate to, having a stressful day and has anybody ever had that, like the domino effect where you do what Nevin did and you eat that one little candy bar, and then that one little candy bar turns into 5 little candy bars and turns into eating bread, and then you're like, well, I'm already off track for the day. I might as well just eat everything in sight because, I've already messed up today. I'm just going to get back on track tomorrow.
Yep.
Anybody ever done that? Yeah.
Yep.
I went to a wedding. I went to a wedding last weekend. It started out with, the vegetable tray. I'm going to hit the vegetable tray because that's healthy. And then I see other things that aren't so healthy. I said, well, maybe just one of the fried shrimps. And they were delicious. And how about some fried fish? I really didn't want it, but it looked so good. But I already had the fried shrimp. I might as well enjoy the fried fish too. And then the wedding cake came out. So how do you stop? Once you say, okay, it's a snowball effect. And then you have a glass of wine and you just don't care anymore. You just, hey, it's a wedding. You're supposed to have fun. But it's hard to kind of slow it down once the ball starts rolling.
Yeah.
And then to stop. So
Yeah.
I dance.
Yeah. It totally.
I try to dance a lot.
Yeah. It really, really is. And, and now there's two ways to look at that too. Now, if you go to a wedding and you're like, yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself, is that okay? Sure. Right?
It
It's okay to go
happen every day.
at a wedding, but then you have to say, okay, but did I give myself permission? Did I think about it beforehand? Did I consciously make that decision to let myself enjoy that? Or was I mindlessly just going along with whatever was happening? And how many times do I allow myself to do that? Because it's really easy to justify and say, oh yeah, it's a wedding, I'm having fun, that's great, which is perfectly fine. And then 2 days later, oh, well, it's somebody's birthday, I should celebrate with that, and that's really fun. Or now I have a work party, and so everybody's going to want me to eat with them. So but that's okay because it's just a work party. And then, oh, well, then my friend wanted me to go out to lunch with them. So, it'd be rude to just, not to eat or whatever if I go out with my friend. So, and all of those things are true, right? But what if all of those things happened all in the same week or or even a month? And then how many calories are you adding into your life in one of those events? So that's where it's always good to be mindful and to really pick, okay, what's really important to me? And if I'm choosing health, because, Dr. A always talks about making primary choices and secondary choices, and then our overall choice. So if our overall choice is that we want to be healthy, then our secondary choices that come under that are, we have to sometimes do those things that we don't want to do, but we do them anyway because it supports what we want in the end, right? So that's where those things come back in, that sometimes you have to say, okay, yeah, maybe this month I have let myself, do a few more things here and that, but, that's where you kind of have to find that balance and be really mindful of it instead of, making those choices of what we have to do when we have to do them.
And I think that's why I think it's Nevin was so successful at the board meeting, is because he had a plan. He had a mindset of just eating those 3 candies. But when he, got home, the peanuts just took over.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do that. I haven't binged yet since I've been in the challenge, but in one of the readings it talked about planning a meal ahead of time. So I'll just bring to work what I plan on eating for my meals, and I try not to go away from that. So far that's been working. I know what I'm going to eat. I have a plan for it, and I try to stick to it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, having a plan is key.
Yeah, I found that out a couple of days ago. I finally started the journaling and writing down. I showed that to you, Heather. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe these last couple of days, it's like a whole different way I'm eating. I mean, I'm doing so much better because it's mindfully, I'm consciously just thinking about it. But really what I looked at is how much time we have left in this challenge, and I made the calendar, and it's like, oh, I really need to get serious. And I've been doing so much better since I just put it down on paper, and so, yeah, I think it just really does help just to have that in front of you and to see it.
Mm-hmm. It does.
That's what's working for me right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the more that we can look at what our goal is every day, it really does help us visualize, hey, what do I really want? Why am I doing this? Is it so I can torture myself for a few weeks and not eat candy and then go back, to doing what
on the counter in the kitchen?
Yeah, I'm like, it's not. So, you know, if we look at what we really want to accomplish, what we really want to do, how we want our life to look every day, then eventually that's what we're going to bring about, even if we do have those slip-ups. So, because we all will. Everybody will at some point. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything they want to share that has either been hard for them or that's working for them? So
We just got to keep doing our points.
yeah, I know.
Do their points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Keep doing our points.
It's exciting that we're in the lead. I hope we can keep it up.
Yes, it's super exciting. I know. We need to keep encouraging those that are not on here to get their points, so that every little time that they bump up, that really bumps us up, and all of us keep consistently getting those points every day. I think is huge. And the biggest thing here, you know, just like we talked about last week, getting those points, and the whole purpose of this is, I mean, it gives us the motivation when we have a calendar or we have a timeline or we have a challenge, which is why we do them. But really, it's to put those things into place, like put that mindfulness in place, put those good sleep habits, good eating habits, good exercise habits into place, so that long term, you know, I mean, we do these challenges usually like 3 times a year, which is great. But, you know, in between those times, we want to still keep moving forward. So an analogy that we use a lot in coaching is, are we in the rocking chair or are we in the race car? So rocking chairs, you're going back and forth, back and forth. Those are the people who are like, I can do this diet for 2 months and no problem, and they lose their weight and they're feeling better, they're, you know, rocking forward, and then they hit their weight loss goal, and then they're like, woo, okay, now I can sit back. And then it's like, oh crap, everything I just did caught back up to me again, and so now we have to go forward again. Whereas a race car, they're always going forward, they're always moving forward, they're never looking behind them. So that's where we really want to use that structural tension chart. So whatever, hopefully you guys all wrote down something, like Joanne showed me hers that she wrote down. So write down a goal. And if you've already reached, like Nevin, so big congratulations to Nevin. He already reached his weight loss goal for the challenge, which is awesome.
Good.
So that's fantastic.
I'm that close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, you're so, yes, and Anne is super close.
Yeah.
So, but what we need to do now, so once all of us reach our goal, we need to redo that structural tension chart, because once you reach that goal, your rubber band isn't stretched anymore, right? So it's easy to be like, yeah, I feel great. Oh, that's going to cut us off in 10 minutes. Okay. It's great to reach your goal, but then if you have no tension there pushing you forward, then you're feeling good. Then you're like, oh yeah, it's not going to hurt if I, you know, do this or if I don't do that. So once you reach your goal, my challenge to all of you is to set another goal, not necessarily like a weight loss goal unless you're still working towards that, but a fitness related goal. So maybe it's with, you know, how many times you're exercising, or, you know, different activity that you want to be able to do, but just something that keeps you moving forward and thinking about health in your life. You know, maybe like for me right now, sleep is what I'm really trying to work on. So still not very good at, but I'm working on it. So, you know, whatever it is that keeps you thinking in a health-wise mindset and keeps you moving forward is what's important. So.
All right, Teresa, we were talking about that today.
Yep. Awesome. And keep encouraging each other. I know Ann and I talked about that. Keep encouraging those that are on our team and anybody in your world who wants to be healthy. So does anybody else have anything else they wanted to say before it cuts us off here?
Yeah, well, just that, you know, we joined the challenge and we invited people to this challenge because we thought, you know, they could learn from this challenge. So that to me is what I want to say. Just keep encouraging the ones that maybe haven't been doing the readings, that they're just so important. You know, I know you get points for them, but they're just so important in getting that education to back up what we're actually doing. You know, so you know, just whoever's, you know, you invited, I would just encourage everyone to, you know, encourage their friends to just keep going forward, even though they know they can't reach their goal. the time we have left, they can do their readings and just, get that knowledge.
So
Right.
important. Knowledge is power, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, totally is. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to share before it cuts us off here?
No.
All right. Well, thanks for being on the Zoom. I'll get the link posted to get our 5 points for doing our Zoom in just a little bit. So watch for that. Make sure you get all your points. Keep going on. And remember, if you do have one of those moments where you have a bad day, bad moment, bad whatever it is, don't beat yourself up over it. Write down what you learned from it and use it the next time.
And talk to someone. Talk to a friend.
Talk to someone. Yeah. Talk to your health coach. That's what they're there for.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay,
All right.
everybody. I'm going to stop recording now, but at least we got this and we got everybody's good input on here this time instead of just me BSing.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Bye-bye.